Hey, what's going on? This is Don John here to bring you another educational site breakdown of one way to gamify your classroom. You hear the music maybe in the background there. This one is really going out to you math teachers out there. This one is one called Prodigy. And when I taught math, I used Prodigy a lot. And if you saw my previous video about gamifying my classroom with the classroom management tool called Classcraft, sorry, this music is throwing me off here. Classcraft, I would tie in Prodigy to work with Classcraft based on how many questions they answered a week. And so this is a great tie-in. So let's look at this real fast. I've kind of created a new player named Donald for Don John here, and I'm gonna kind of show you the basics of it. I want you to think math meets Pokemon, and you go in and you are gonna battle uh, these different animals, and you. So I'm gonna cast this. How many sides does it have? Three. Cast spell. It's correct. It sends out an attack. It hits, and keep going. I'm gonna get this over. Hey, wow! I hope I get this one right. Um, I set it up to a second grade level for this review just so we could fly through some stuff on it real fast. And so they will attack back, and based on are they water or are they fire, or there's a whole bunch of different things. Um, a lot like Pokemon, certain type of Pokemon attack a certain other type of Pokemon and are more effective against them. And so one thing I like about this is when he's beat, he runs away. He doesn't die. He just runs away. We win. Now, after the battle, we get some battle stars. We just leveled up. We gained 100 hearts. And then now we're levels 2. We can open this chest, and this is where it gets interesting because once I open the chest, we get gold. What they don't show you here is that once you open a chest, after every battle, it will uh, it will prompt whoever the kid is to purchase a membership, and the memberships are not cheap. Now, the difference between this one and Classcraft is the membership fee is on the student side of things and not the teacher side of things. So you might have one student in the class uh, whose parents allow them to get the membership, and another one who doesn't. So here I'm choosing my starter pet. I don't know. I'm gonna go with this flying guy here. So I like to train this guy. So the rest of them go away, and now he's my starter pet. And so, of course, I have to get it. I'm not gonna make you sit here and watch all of this though. Um, I want you to realize that this is a math game, and it does it basically is testing them on their math skills. You can give them homework on here. You can see reports based on how they do. You can give them standardized test prep on here, all kinds of different things. And it is the single best tool in my math repertoire um, because I could get some kids who would never do homework with pencil and paper to get on and work a few of these problems out and then bring me their work in and show me, all because they were training their animal. Um, so a few things about Prodigy here. It There's a little bit of a learning curve. Those kids who know things about Pokemon, they're good to go. If they know nothing about Pokemon, it takes them a little bit to realize that water is it's better to fight things that are fire based and so on and so forth. And so it's basically a game of rock paper scissors or paper rock scissors or whatever the correct way is to put those in order. And so you want to have multiple animals in your little group so that you can switch them in and out and fight things, but the whole time you're doing math. And so someone first starts a character, it takes them. When I was doing it, I think it was about a 30-question pre-quiz where it would try to find out what level they were on, and then if you had an as a teacher assign them anything, it would give them math problems that are on their level. The biggest drawback that I know have seen from Prodigy is if a student is struggling with something, the remediation that it gives is not the best remediation in the world. So you kind of have to go to your students and say, "Hey, look, if you don't get this stuff, you need to bring it to me, and I'll help you with one or two of them until you understand what's going on, and then they're good to go." And they get through those lessons and they move on. It tells you exactly what level each student is on. I don't have an active class. I've been teaching science this past year, and so I don't have active math class in Prodigy anymore. I'm going to shut this down and just kind of show you the teacher side of things. I don't have a ton to show just based on the fact that I'm not teaching math. But you would create your new class, and you name it whatever you want, and you can import them from Google Classroom. You can select the grade that they start with, and every student would start with this grade as their starting grade unless you go in and change it. The one thing I wish I could show you, the reports that it gives you are pretty good. You're not going to base your whole curriculum off of the reports that it gives you, but it does let you know how they did on a certain assignment or certain concepts that they may have gotten to on their own. My favorite is the kids that are above what I'm doing in class and they're ready to move on. If they're playing Prodigy, it's moving them past that and it's moving them on into the things that they're ready to play. And so, if you are a math teacher, I highly suggest that you look into Prodigy. There's no cost on your end. If someone wants a premium account, that's on the student end of things, and it's not on you at all. Um, I will tell you that there is another drawback to Prodigy, and it's that other teachers are going to get upset with you because your kids are going to want to play this in their classroom. And so I had to tie this in with my classcraft and say, listen, if you're playing Prodigy in another classroom and a teacher tells me that you were playing Prodigy in another classroom, it's going to cost you health points in classcraft. And so you have to figure out a way to make sure that when they're in other classes, they're listening because this game is uh, the best educational game that I've seen at getting kids to want to play. So that's my uh, Prodigy review. Math teachers, you got to try it. I think it goes up to 12th grade. The questions do get really, really hard, and they do mirror a lot of what the Common Core or Tennessee standards say if you're in Tennessee or wherever you are. When I was setting up my player character just a minute ago, it asked me what state, so it gives me questions based on the standards within my state, which is pretty cool. So, um, yeah, check it out if you're a math teacher. Lower grades, it might take a little bit of explaining to them about the water beats fire type stuff. Um, but otherwise, I think it's a pick up and play type game. It does a really good job of explaining things early on. They're part of an academy, has a little bit of the Harry Potter feel to it because they're part of the Wizard Academy or whatever. Um, I typically don't like wizardy stuff. I like Classcraft. It's not super fantasy, and this is not super fantasy either. It's just kind of fun. The dark part of the fantasy stuff isn't really in these. So check them out. Thanks for your time. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and check out my other educational videos. And I appreciate everybody who watches. Thanks. We'll see you later.